Hello, my name is John McAllister, and I have the John McAllister Sports Report. Today, we're going to go into a little bit of recruiting and talk a newly committed recruit to Michigan from Columbus. I've gotten to know Jonathan Brown a little bit, nicknames JB, and that's what I'll call him. The thing about JB, he's up to 200 pounds now. And I think he's one of the reasons I had him on is because he's a camp guy. You hear they say, well, we'll see you in camp. Well, he went to Michigan and did really well. You had to throw out last year's video because he was 175, 180. So he's gained 20 some pounds since last year. And I think it's important that we realize there are camp guys. Sometimes it sounds like an old cliche. Well, we'll see you in camp. Well, Jonathan went to Michigan and did really well, tested well, measured well, and played hard, played well, and they offered him a scholarship. So I think it's important that camp guys, a lot of times they say a camp guy, you're probably going to throw you under the bus, but not in his case and not in some other cases. And I think it takes really good coaches to see that, college coaches to see that, to be aware of that. JB was interesting. JB was an interesting visit. I think he has a lot of ducks in the row. So really excited to talk with him again and meet JB Brown, the running back from Columbus, St. Francis de Sales. Thank you. Okay, JB, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You've got headlines here recently, and I think it's good from the standpoint that you won people over in camp, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Because you weigh like 20 more pounds. You're a little over 200 right now, right?
Yes, sir.
And so if you look at last year's tapes, that's not very good because, they were good, but you're 20 pounds heavier. What kind of
Yes, sir.
speed do you have?
I run a 4.5.
Have
Definitely
you run
fast.
4.5?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let's talk football, and then we'll talk about you and talk about you and football first, okay?
Okay.
JD, where did it all start for you? Where did you start football-wise, thinking football? Because you're a heck of a baseball player, right?
Yes, sir.
So when did football start?
Football started around fifth grade, and I was really focused on baseball before. I was nationally ranked in baseball on the national scene, so all my time was really put into baseball until fifth and sixth grade. I started playing football. Then once I got to high school, I started taking football a little bit more serious, playing both baseball and football. And
Okay.
then I got a little bit of playing time my sophomore year behind a senior, and then I got an offer from Kent State, which really put me on the map a little bit.
For
So
football or baseball?
for football,
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
was playing behind a senior, and so uh, I got a little bit of notoriety for that. And then my junior year, I really started to take football serious. Um, yeah, yes, sir.
Well, you better take it serious at the sales.
Yes, sir.
Coach Wiggins will beat you to death. No, he's a good friend
Tough
of
coach.
mine.
Yes, sir.
Football is really serious for all you guys, and that's super. Okay, anybody as you look back, anybody kind of been a driving force for you, or encouraged you, or helped you along the way?
Yes, sir. Many people. My dad, of course. Coach Wiggins has really helped. Coach Crabtree and my strength and conditioning coaches, Coach Austin Strapp and his team have really helped me these past couple months and prior to the football season to get me bigger, stronger, faster. And
Yeah, Coach. I'm not familiar with him, but he must be doing a pretty good job.
yes, sir. He was the strength and conditioning coach at Pitt for a
Oh,
while. He got to work with Aaron Donald and all those guys.
oh, okay. That sounds really good. As you look back on it, you've what's a tribute? What do you attribute your most recent success? Now you still have a long ways to go to get so successful so far. What do you attribute that to, Jonathan?
My hard work. I put in a lot of work.
Do you?
Yes, sir. A lot of
Really good. Okay, what about school, real quickly? Are you avoiding schoolwork then?
sir. I have a 3.5. My GPA is a 3.5, and my
What's your
parents.
favorite subject? Economics is your favorite subject.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's a tough one, you
Yeah, I
know?
want to go into business. So
Okay, that's really, really good. Okay, let's jump to baseball. Are you playing this year?
no, sir. I'm going to graduate early, so I can't play this year.
No, I meant you play summer ball?
Oh no, sir. I dropped everything for football.
Okay. Well, you're getting paid to play now. Getting a
yes,
scholarship to Michigan.
yes,
It's
sir.
really good. You had some other good schools too. And I think I told you earlier, you're the reason that some people should go to camp.
Yes, sir.
Camp camp got you a scholarship.
Very,
And
very
I
important.
don't always agree with it. The camps, it's a moneymaker sometimes, but for you, definitely not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me why do you encourage people to go to camps?
Well, for me, I know my film wasn't really what it was supposed to be. I mean, obviously it wasn't bad film, but it didn't really showcase who I really am. And I definitely got bigger, so coaches got to see that. And on film, I didn't really catch the ball at the backfield. And so during camps, coaches can see I can catch the ball at the backfield. I can move quicker, I'm faster, bigger, stronger. So going to camps, I feel like is really important, especially for those kids whose film doesn't really match who they are
Right.
6 months prior.
It's really good. Has that I'm sure you're going to get bugged again. You're going to get recruited. Guys are going to still keep talking to you and stuff.
So,
That usually happens and stuff. Okay. One first crazy question. Okay. First crazy question. Who would you love to hang out with for one day, 6 in the morning till 10 at night? What it could be an athlete or trade places with them. Who would
okay.
you like to hang with for one day?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
There.
Why LeBron James? He's about ready to retire. What makes
LeBron.
LeBron so special?
To me, LeBron is a role model, and he's from Ohio, so I look up to LeBron in that way. And he seems like a really good guy, and I've been watching him since I was probably 5 years old.
Uh, Through a mutual friend, I met him
Really?
about 5 years ago when I think he was still in Cleveland, maybe. He's the biggest athlete I've ever been around. I mean, he's just huge. And sometimes I don't like what he does, but boy, you can't argue with his athleticism.
Yes,
And
sir.
he's 40 years old doing the
I
things
know.
he does. So,
Yes, sir.
LeBron, okay, let's talk football. Running back, what's the toughest part about being a running back?
The toughest part, I'll say, taking the hits. You take a lot of hits, and it wears on your body, but you got to be willing to take the hits, obviously, and get back up the next play and keep going.
Good. Well, there's a way, you got to learn to take hits too sometimes.
Yes, sir.
You got to give a little bit and things like that. What else is tough about being a running back?
Uh, I don't really feel like anything else. I like playing running back a lot, so that would
Okay.
be the toughest part, probably taking the hits and, of course, giving the hits. But yeah.
Okay. What else do you have to work on then?
My pad level on my film last year, my pad level wasn't really good. You didn't really see me running over anybody, so this year you'll definitely see a lot of that on film. Me running through people.
That's funny. That was my biggest criticism
yes, sir.
on video. I know on video, but
Mm,
I think my 2 cents. Okay. I think you have excellent vision.
yes, sir.
Okay, you can see you'll plant and go. You got vision. You've got I don't know if you've got fifth gear, but you've got the burst through the line
Mm,
from the through the line of scrimmage. You got a really good burst, I think, and then fifth gear hard to see. Maybe better this year, but you have some. But You have a really good burst. And I think, the other thing I think that it's really good for you is that you have balance and you have vision, and you can also, you have good hands.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I watched a couple of catches, and if you can just do the job. What I think you have to work on, a lot of running backs don't, and I'm not so sure. The guy at Michigan that really came on late in the season, I think he turned it on. I think running backs have to run mad.
Mhm.
There are different slang words you can use, PO and stuff, but I think you have, and that you can be a great guy, but you got to run mad. You got to run like that guy's messing with your girlfriend or something. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
I agree. I definitely have to be more violent.
Yeah, violent. Yeah, violent is a good word, but just be mad, be angry. Okay, get away from that. What are words that you live by, JB? There are slangs. I've got them in my office here. What are words you live by?
Faith, of course, number one. Family and hard work. Those are words that I live by.
Faith and family.
And hard work.
And well, I know, but faith and family, every hard work that's easy. Faith and family are tough.
Yes, sir.
That's tough to fulfill. That's hard. That's really good. Has there ever been I call it scrapbook time. Now you're going into your senior year. Has there ever been a play or a game that you and your buddies 10 years from now will talk about? Have you ever had a play like that? And if you haven't, that's okay.
Yes,
You know,
sir. My sophomore year against Bishop Watterson, our rival, we beat them on let me see, it was a game-winning field goal, and they were undefeated that year, and we sent them into the playoffs with the loss, which was really good.
yeah, you remember that for
Yes, sir.
sure. Okay. What I talked about improvement. Tell me something I think is getting more and more important. Film study. You do much of film study?
Yes, sir.
You watch film?
Mhm.
Because really, I think as a running back, you can watch if they're lined up here. You know what they're going to do and things like that, and tendencies and stuff like that.
Sure.
And you can see who the tough linebacker is. You don't want him to tackle you, so you go after the other. I'm joking around with you on that one. Okay, next silly question. What talent would you like to have you don't have and you'll never get? What talent don't you what you like to have and because you don't have, but you'll never get it? What's that?
Uh, the ability to draw and paint. That's something I really want to do, but I just cannot do it.
just rub that brush all over.
I know.
They'll think it's really good. You do that. Okay. What's one thing that nobody knows about you until right now? What's
It was,
one thing that nobody knows about you until right now? Something they don't know about you. You're going
uh,
to reveal it. Or we
I
can
don't,
pass.
I really
Yeah.
don't.
You afraid of spiders? I don't know. Something like that. Anyway,
Oh, I have one. I don't like baby dolls. That's something. I don't
you
like
don't like what?
baby dolls. They
Okay.
yeah, they scare me a little bit.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Let's get back to serious stuff. Okay. You're going to Michigan, rival Ohio State, and you've got a lot of pressure on you. Okay, how will you handle this season? How are you going to approach it? You already got a scholarship, you know. I think, but how will you handle that? Are you going to be an attitude? Are you going to still work hard? Are you going to? Is it a team thing? How are you going to handle it?
I feel like I'll handle it how I've handled everything. Just work hard, keep level head. I'm a level headed person, so I don't get too high or too low. So I'll just keep that same approach going into this season and definitely show people what I got that don't believe in me. So yes, sir.
I always say, and as a head coach, I used to do it a little bit myself. Okay, I think you need to have a chip on your shoulder.
Yes, sir.
I don't want a cement block. You don't want a big old block up there, but you want a regular brick. That's a size. And keep out. You got to have a little chip on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And it's called prove people wrong.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's really good. But you approach it like that. In the same breath, football is so much energy, so
Mhm.
much energy. How do you got to bring energy to the sales football this year? How are you going to bring energy to the sales football?
By making big plays. That's what I do. I make big plays. So when I make big plays, the team gets hyped and everyone gets going.
Super, super. Are you a quiet leader, or are you a rah rah guy, or are you a I'll just show you guy?
I'll show. I'll show you type of guy. I'm not really rah rah. I don't say too much. I just get the word.
Okay, that's really good. It's good. Okay, I'm going to come and recruit you. What's your best quality as a person, as a young athlete? What's your best quality?
I'm very respectful. Very respectful.
Because your parents have made you that way, probably.
Yeah, they grew me and they always tell me be respectful. That's the biggest thing. No matter what, show people respect. Give them a firm hand. Give a man a firm handshake. Say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And when I met Coach Moore for the first time at the camp, I gave him a strong handshake. And then when I met him again, when he offered me, he that's the thing he remembered, the strong handshake. He
Yeah.
said me and Adrian Peterson were like the strongest handshakes he's ever got.
Okay, you know a guy named up there named Tony Alford?
Yes, sir.
He's a good friend of mine.
Oh,
He's a
really?
good friend. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. And he's a good coach.
Yes, sir.
Good coach. And he's the kind of guy who'll be nice to you. I don't think he yells and screams very much. He just tells you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
So he's a good coach. Okay, just a few more questions, and then we'll be done. Tell me about uh, the recruiting process a little bit. What was the best thing about it? The recruiting process.
The best thing I would say is talking to the coaches and getting to know them. Building a relationship with each coach was really fun because I never really had like this opportunity before, and then getting this opportunity to talk to coaches and get to know them, it was really a fun opportunity for me and my family.
And exciting. Did you get tired of phone calls and things like that?
Oh no, sir, because it's a blessing at the end of the day. Not a lot of people get this, so any opportunity I can get, anytime I get to talk to a coach, was a blessing.
Okay, what kind of advice are you going to give guys behind you in the freshman, sophomore? You do have a couple more players on the sales football team this year.
Yes, sir.
Besides the quarterback and besides, I like him as a defensive end, but he plays tight end for you.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
I wish he could play defense. I wish he would play defense, but I'm not. And because he's a tough guy and he can run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the quarterback's got to be pretty good, really good. He just needs to keep getting better and better.
Yes,
And
sir.
talking about Coach Jay's son, I shouldn't say it that way. RJ did one of the best interviews I've ever had on here.
Really?
Back he is one of the best interviews I've ever done. I
Nice.
have no reason to make that up. Okay, it's really good. I'm excited for you. Okay, and going to Michigan. I don't care where you go, and go to Michigan and play. And if I can ever help you, please let me know. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You have a great day.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.